right, today we're opening up the case file on one of the 20th century's most famous yet most mysterious figures. We're going to profile an adventurer, a reporter, and a world traveler whose personal history is, well, one of the greatest unsolved puzzles in pop culture.
So this is where the official story begins, with a simple act of creation. It's 1929, the artist Hergé puts his pen to paper, and just like that, a legend is born. Honestly, this is the only documented birth we have on record for our subject.
But that's just the public record, right? And our investigation really begins in the gaps, with all those unanswered questions. So the question at the very heart of this is, beyond the artist's studio, who exactly is Tintin?
Okay, so our investigation is going to start with our first line of inquiry, the traveler with no map. Here, we're going to look at his sudden and completely undocumented appearance on the world stage.
I mean, from the moment he first appeared, he was practically a ghost. The file says it all. He arrived with zero family connections, no verifiable home address, and a past that was as blank as a fresh sheet of paper. No paper trail, no school records, nothing.
So what did anyone actually know at the beginning? Well, the initial dossier was remarkably thin. The only identifiable facts were his trademark spiked hair, his constant companion, a white fox terrier named Snowy, and most importantly, no known personal history at all. He just appeared.
Now, let's move on to the second part of our investigation, Portrait of an Enigma. This is where we dig a little deeper into those strange and, frankly, consistent gaps in his personal data.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this whole thing codifies the mystery. You see, these aren't just random omissions. They are consistent patterns. The files are always missing the same information. No documented family, no permanent address, and maybe the most bizarre detail of all, an age that just never, ever changes.
And this agelessness, well, that's a critical piece of the puzzle. As the file notes, he just walks so comfortably between the worlds of childhood and adulthood. He has all the independence and skill of a grown man, but he's got the open-minded curiosity and moral compass of a child. It's what makes him such a uniquely effective hero.
You know, any good biographer will tell you that you can learn a lot about someone by the company they keep. So that brings us to our next section, a world of companions, where we see how he's really defined by his friends. And wow, what a cast of characters he surrounded himself with. You've got the wonderfully grumpy, sailor-tongued Captain Haddock, the brilliant but hopelessly distracted Professor Calculus, and of course you can't forget the bumbling detective duo, Thompson and Thompson. What a memorable crew.
So, here's the crucial point. Why surround our blank slate hero with such loud, vibrant personalities? It's because they act as foils. They help define Tintin through contrast. Haddock's grumpiness highlights Tintin's optimism. Calculus's absent-mindedness makes Tintin's focus seem even sharper. Their flaws really make his quiet competence shine.
All of this evidence, it's all leading us to our final conclusion. This section, the hero in the mirror, is where we reveal the true purpose behind this carefully constructed enigma.
The key that unlocks this entire mystery is a literary concept, and it's known as the empty vessel hero. It's a protagonist who is intentionally given a neutral personality, a blank slate, for one very specific reason: to allow the audience, that's you and me, to project ourselves directly into the adventure.
And this was all by design. It wasn't an accident. The source material spells it out for us. Hergé created an empty vessel who encouraged his readers to fill in the missing pieces of his story with their own imaginations. The lack of a past wasn't an oversight. It was the entire point.
But his purpose was actually twofold. He wasn't just a mirror for the reader. He became a mirror for the turbulent 20th century itself. His travels weren't just random adventures. They captured the spirit of the times, reflecting everything from deep political intrigue and the space race to the simple, universal joys of slapstick humor.
And what a journey it was. From an icon first breathed to life on the page, he then leaped onto the silver screen, and ultimately, he built a legacy that proved a hero doesn't need a detailed backstory to leave a lasting mark on the world.
Which brings our biographical file to a close with one final thought. If Tintin, our enigmatic hero, is truly a mirror held up to his readers and his times, what does his century-spanning journey show us about ourselves?